What is going on, trka? Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about a few things. Just wanted to point out, we'll look at the charts, we'll look at the Ortex, we'll look at a tweet, we'll look at another article that's posted out there. We'll talk about the market cap. I'm sorry, it was a busy weekend and I just could not get back here any sooner, but let's get into the video. As always, this is not financial advice, it's just for your entertainment. So, looking at the tweet Roger Hamilton sent out, it's not his first one, but at least it was an update. He said, great meet today with Sid, trka team, GNS team. Yes, I get Sid deleting his Twitter account isn't popular here on Twitter, but from our meet, I see he's focused 100% on building value. Let's see how many value-building CEOs we can combine for future benefit of all shareholders. Brought a little bit of attention to it, hopefully. Who knows, what they talked about, what they discussed. Who knows what his interests are, even with trka. Outside of, I know that he would just like some more CEOs on board trying to fight any kind of criminal short selling to a degree. Just wanting fair value for their businesses. So if that's his approach, then that's probably his only interest in trka, is just finding more CEOs to come on and want to fight against their companies being shorted into the ground to death. If there are any deeper meanings behind why you would be interested, I guess those will come out in time whenever somebody can talk about it, and I doubt it would come from Roger Hamilton first. I would think that trka would have to be the one to make that release. The other thing I was looking at was this article here. It's when was this article brought out? Let's see. February 27th, so it's a little bit of an older article, but this is whenever I think the first round of attention started coming into trka as being possibly an undervalued stock on the market as far as what it was doing. We had our financials come out. So looking at this article just from a broad sense in a quick scan, it says the markets have since completely mispriced the stock. Since acquiring Converge, trka shares have fallen from $1 to down to 10 cents. So that was back in the day, right? It says today trka is worth 40 cents a share, and that still values the enterprise at only 60 million. So we know that the market cap was at 60 million whenever they were saying it was still undervalued. What's it sitting at right now as we're speaking? It's at 71.5, so 71.5 million. So they're saying it's a 2.6 multiple, which is kind of where we sit right here, right now, at 20.5 cents on trka. So not a whole lot has changed. The float changed, but the market cap is still the same. They're still valuing it the same. So is it still undervalued? Well, according to this article, yes, it's still an undervalued stock. It says we should see roughly at least a 5.6x. So a little more than a double from here. That puts it at 41 cents to be fair value with the outstanding share increase that happened. So to me, at least getting back to that 40 cents is still going to say that we're more than likely going to be possibly undervalued. But I could see that would be a spot where things would start to get interesting as far as if it's going to continue to push and value itself closer to that, say, 6 to 10x times, or if it's going to settle down and be, okay, this will be your fair market value because you just got your market cap back to, roughly 120, 128, 135, somewhere in there. Let's see how the market cap continues to grow. If we get below this 60 million, even with the new outstanding shares, then according to this article and according to the thought process behind the fundamentals of it being undervalued, it would still be an undervalued company. So we're looking at that as well. The Ortex, again, correct or not, I don't know. Still on the threshold list. Cost to borrow average is really high for if this is correct numbers. Maybe whoever's holding's not offering those shares out, so they're having to pay a little bit more to get their hands on them, or maybe they're not paying anything at all. That's That's the naked short thesis. Cost to borrow average 111.95% utilization, not even close to being maxed out. So again, the numbers don't quite add up. This number should be a whole lot higher if the cost to borrow average is that high, in my opinion. Today the volume has backed off pretty significantly, but we were expecting that. You can only burn hot for so long. What's the volume at? About 20 million right now as of making this video at 10:52 a.m. market time. So what am I looking at? Well, if we fib it out, we will have support down here, hopefully at 2025, which is going to bring that market cap back to about 60 million. So at that point, we're playing the same game. Is it still an undervalued company? And do people see the value? And will this pick up some steam? So right now I'm watching around that 20-cent level as to what's going to happen. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. We have a longer fib that's down there at 19.5 cents. So we're going to be playing a pretty tight game here within a penny, in my opinion, between 19 and 20 cents. See if that's whenever things might want to turn around. The chart overall, it doesn't have the most steam to it as of right now. We don't have enough touches here for me to put a new trend line coming in overhead, so I'm just extending this one, which seems to still be acting as potential resistance right here. Get a little breakout, makes the hang up on it, and then continues to fall below. So I think this is a fair trend line to be using at the moment. Looking at the RSI on the shorter time frames, we are pretty oversold, but the volume's backed off. So if we don't have that buying pressure to kind of be pushing it higher, I'm just looking for the trickle down somewhere, hopefully in this 20-cent range, 19-cent range. We'll see how the market cap does. We'll see if that attracts any attention as to possibly bigger investors, or if we are going to be in some sort of trouble and they just want to continue to smash it. The 30-minute is sitting right at our bounce line that we typically just do a little bit of a dip below and then get some strength back into it, but not in bullish territory at all. Pretty oversold even on the 30-minute. On the 1 hour, Bears still kind of in control. We're not making our curl back up, but we do have some room to work our way back down to the RSI bounce spot that we've been watching. So again, that's why I think we do have a little bit more further down before we see if this thing is ready to turn around. Again, we've got a little bit further on the 4 hours, so it's all making sense. Oversold on the shorter time frames, but the longer time frames have room to come down to our bounce spot. So I think it might be a pretty boring day so far. At least it is. The 28 cents, like I said in the last video, it's going to be difficult. There's so much supply that hits us right there, and it peeked its head out for a brief moment and just quickly got smacked back down. So maybe another run back up there could be the one that takes it out if say bigger buyers are DCAing or accumulating down here. That'll improve their average as they try to fight their way back through that crack at it again. What I'd be looking at as far as resistance is our trend line and our fib lines. So we'll see how this trend line continues to hold as the day goes on, if it ever starts acting as support or if we continue to use it as resistance. If it wants to accumulate a slow grind down all the way, I mean, we're out here in Tuesday before it would ever make its decision below 20-25, if that holds as a nice base for us, and if it wants to break out. But it can break out at any point, any moment it wants to. Kind of up in the air until we get something a little bit more stable to work with. But I'd be watching for the levels on our way back up. 21.86, 23.16, 24.5, and then that's going to put us back in that 25 to 28 cent range that is just probably going to pick the volume back up on us. You can see the volume profile over here, how far back it steps Whenever we get below, say, 22.5, it really dies off. So once we get back up there, we'll see the volume hopefully pick back up. But let's hope that this isn't our new trading channel down here in 20.5 to 22.5. It's not going to be a whole lot of fun to watch or to hang on in your account, seeing probably most are red, I would assume, at this point. I'd be looking for key levels if I was doing anything as far as changing my average went. Like I said, 19 to 20 might be a spot, but we'll just have to see how that holds out. The green line was a double bottom area in the past, around 21.20, that was holding for support for a couple of times. We saw a quick little bounce off of there, but got knocked down below it. So now it's going to do what? Act as resistance. So let's see if we can take that level out as well, 21.20, get back above it, hold it as support, and then just be watching the self to the downside and have a trading plan. Keep in mind what you're doing, and let's go from there. So I will catch you guys in the next one. I hope you have a great day in the markets. Make some money. I don't think a whole lot of stuff's doing a whole lot. We'll have FOMC this week, so might see a little bit of jockeying around coming into I guess late day today, Tuesday possibly, and then Wednesday it'll probably be a little bit dead until we get the minutes. But take it one day at a time, one step at a time. Let's see how it goes. As always, stay golden, people, and may your accounts stay green.